episode, we are going to be replacing the front serpentine belt in this 330i E46 for a customer. Also doing an inspection on his suspension. That's why I'm lifting the car up so high right now. All right, this did not take long. We're wondering why the back of his car is making all this noise, and let's see. Comment if you can see the problem. Holding up the suspension and a bolt that fits. All done. Now we're gonna tackle the squealy serpentine belt. So you can't hear it right now, but this thing squeals really loud. It's weird. They're very like temperamental, and it can be very intermittent. But if you ever hear a loud squealing noise from the front, typically it's a serpentine belt issue. It's a very distinct sound. Step one, we're going to remove this guy. Typically it's held on by 1, 2, 3, I think 10mm bolts or Torx. Set that off to the side. Then what you're gonna wanna do is take a T25 Torx screwdriver or socket. You're going to remove one screw on this side. Okay, and then you've got one screw on this side. Oh, it looks like it's already been removed. Like whoever worked on this previously, it slips right up. Before we take it all the way up, we're gonna take a look at this harness. Just press down right here and then pull. And then on this one, pull, squeeze this little outside. Super easy harness to remove. That's really nice. Usually harnesses suck. So that is so awesome. Look how quickly that fan comes off. That's really nice. Next, you're gonna locate the serpentine belt, which you can always see typically in the front of the motor. Next, we're going to take off this cap, and we might need to use a flathead. Got a couple caps on here that we want to take off. Let's get some better light in here. This guy right here. So you're gonna take an 8 Allen and you're gonna rotate clockwise like that. I can remove the belt. Now, as you can see, as I try to remove this, I'm limited because there's another belt blocking the AC compressor and the crankshaft, and so I'm gonna have to take that one off. To do that, you're gonna need to remove this plastic cap. So you're gonna take a 16, you're gonna press down here, and then this belt can easily be removed. Might as well replace it while you're in there. And now I can easily take off the old belt. Alrighty. There she goes. We've got the new belt. This is a part number K060605. This is not your AC belt. This is going to be your main accessory drive belt. So alternator, power steering, crankshaft, etc. This is gonna wrap around first and then put your AC belt on. If you are sitting at the auto parts store and you're like, should I do both belts at the same time? You can, if you're not worried about it. Don't really sweat whether you do the AC belt right away or not. It literally is so easy to remove that it takes seconds. So if you need to go back to the auto parts store because you want to now replace your AC belt, go for it. Some people just take it off because they don't even run AC. So let's throw this thing on. So typically you'll need to follow a little diagram. I'm just going for it based off of memory. I've got the belt first wrapped around on the crankshaft. Then what I did was I just kind of have it over here around on the right. It's kind of sucked into the back. Not worried about it right now. I'm bringing it over to this pulley right here and I'm wrapping it around here. Now it's going around the water pump pulley. We're gonna grab our tool, our 8mm Allen. Here we go. Now I'm gonna need to set the GoPro down again to try and make this happen. Here we go. Perfect. All right. That tensioner, that seems pretty weak. So this job might be a little longer than I thought it would be. I think we're gonna need to replace that. So this job doesn't end for me because I'm gonna have to buy a tensioner tomorrow and things are open. It'll be here in the morning, but you guys saw how to put on the serpentine belt. Hopefully that was kind of clear. You're gonna be removing a 16mm long bolt. Make sure you're using a short socket, otherwise you could jam your ratchet up against the radiator. Next, you're gonna take a 13. All right, you are then going to remove the actual tensioner bolt. Keep your bolts and pulleys together. So far, we've got 2 pulleys with bolts, and we've got a Lone Ranger 13mm bolt right here. Now we have access to the tensioner bolt. Looks like a 13 right down there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm touching it though. This is where the pulley was. Now that that's removed, got access to that bolt. Let's grab our 13. Is in fact it. Okay, socket goes right over it. Goes right here. This is what we're going to be replacing. All right, here is the new tensioner. Here it is, comes with everything. All right. So we've got a fresh unit here. So the next thing you're going to do, you'll see this rod sticking out. You actually need to remove this entire bracket, which again is a 13mm bolt. Super easy, just one bolt right here. Okay. So you might be sitting there trying to fight this rod to pull it out, being confused about installing the new piece, when in fact you just have to take off this whole thing. This is the entire assembly of the old stuff all together. Here's that. Here is the new assembly. See if that's a good enough view. Sorry if my shadow covers it up, but okay, got it started. Take your long 13mm bolt, you're just going to run it right through here. Make sure you keep that bottom bolt loose enough so that you can move the tensioner until this is lined up. Otherwise you'll be fighting something for no reason. We're just gonna go finger tight for now. You're gonna take your 13mm bolt, it goes to the bottom of the tensioner right there. Okay, that screws in. Okay, make sure that's on tight. Once all your 13mm bolts are tight, then you can put your pulleys on. This one right here has a little alignment pin, essentially. It's this little tab that sticks out, and that fits right into, so the ball or the tab that sticks out on here is gonna line up right there on the left. So once you slide this over, make sure you spin it around. Okay, you'll hear it click in, and you can bring your 16mm bolt into place. All right, last but not least, we're gonna put on our last pulley. Make sure this little washer piece on the bottom is still attached, because that is an important piece to the puzzle. Now that everything is back on and is back together, you can throw the serpentine belt back on. All right, so we've already got the AC belt back on, but we put this one on first. This is going to wrap around this pulley we just installed. And back over to the left. We're gonna remove the alternator pulley. Okay, this is gonna go below this. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my 8mm. I'm gonna go clockwise. Okay, now as you can tell, it's a lot harder for me to do this. There we go. There we go. All right, now just ensure that everything is on tight and is not overlapping on any pulleys. Feels good. Now, I don't know if you remember last night, but I was able to really push up on this belt, and now it is really tight. Notice how nothing's budging. Awesome. Let's throw that fan on. Actually, before we do, let's clear our tools, turn this thing on, see how she sounds. So, because we didn't replace the pulleys themselves, we're still gonna hear a little bit of noise from that, but customer didn't want specifically the pulleys to be replaced. We just wanted to do something that was more affordable, which was just simply replacing the tensioner. While you're in there, you might as well. In this case, we didn't, but it's okay. We're gonna at least eliminate that serpentine belt squeal. Now we've got some strong tension, which means that his alternator is gonna operate properly. That means his power steering is gonna operate properly. He's not gonna run into issues in the future where, because of a faulty tensioner, all of his accessory drive stuff starts to become weaker and then over time not work or function as well, leading to things breaking. So that's that. You go ahead and you throw the fan back in. Look how easy that is. There we go. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to leave a comment on what you want to see next, what you thought about the video. Talk with me. I respond to all of you guys. Also, go ahead and check out zwinghq.com if you're interested in picking up a Zwing t-shirt or a sticker or a banner or a Zwing bar. If you guys do bring your car into the shop at Zwing HQ, I can give you a discount on labor if you're local to the Seattle area, if we get a chance to make a video with your car. So it's kind of a win-win situation for you. So hit me up on zwinghq.com. If you have a serious inquiry about getting something done, you can leave me an email there. But also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell next to it. Otherwise, you're not going to be notified of what we produce. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.